So you know he's back, I know he's back, but how does everyone else react to him coming back? What is up, guys? It's your man's Monarch, and I'm here to talk a little bit today about the one question that's kind of been looming for a while now, and that's the fact of, how does everyone react to the return of the character Ozpin? Because ever since, we've seen him return at the end of Volume 7, and we've seen, the body, we've seen Oscar in trailers of Volume 8. We don't know at that point, does everyone know, 100% know that Ozpin is back? And if they do, what was the discussion that followed after that? Because as we already know, everyone kind of had a little bit of that beef with Ozpin once they found out everything from Jin, when they showed everything from that flashback. Now, at this point, there are only a couple of ways I could see this going, for everyone reacting to how Ozpin returns and the moment they know that he is here, that he is back. There's only a couple ways I see this going after that fact. They're either, A, and this is the least likely one, because I'm gonna get this one out of the way first, is they're all gonna welcome him back with open arms. I'm gonna just go ahead and get that one out there right now, because this one is the least likely to happen. I don't see it happening. It's just not a possibility to me whatsoever, because just after everything that's happened thus far, and they should kind of welcome him back with open arms, because honestly, given everything that Jin showed them, most of that happened while he wasn't even there, most of that wasn't even his fault. Just given the characters that we're dealing with right now, I don't see this happening. They're not welcoming him back with open arms. It's not happening. The other, option B is the fact of what they're gonna do is essentially they're gonna welcome him back. It's okay, you're back, because okay, there are more important things going on, and we gotta really deal with the situation. So what will happen is the fact of they're gonna keep him at that social distancing length, right? They're essentially just gonna push him back. They're gonna want him literally in the back, that young social distancing 6 feet, my guy. That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna put him at that 6 feet, and they're just gonna be okay, we're gonna hear certain things that you had to say. We're not gonna hear you completely, because we still don't trust you 100%. You still a little sus to us, alright? We're still thinking that you might be that imposter in Among Us. That's how we're looking at you right now. That's how we're gonna view your case until to a certain degree. Alright? That's how we're looking at you. And they're just gonna keep him in the bag. They're not gonna hear everything. They'll hear certain things, if it's 100% necessary and maybe they got no choice. That's the only time they'll hear him out, if anything. That's option number 2. Now, option C, the option number 3 here, is they still 100% just go ahead and say fuck you. They just say fuck you, we still don't want you back, beat it, catch these hands. I mean, Yang did say yeah, tell them we're not finished. So, I mean, she probably wanted to throw a couple of hands in there after Crow did. In which, speaking of Crow, yeah, see, Crow is going to be the hardest part through any of this, because after everything that he said, especially, man's got lifestyle personal, to where this dude was bro, it was because of you, I felt like my life had any kind of purpose. I was bruh, that's right in the life points right there. And that moment, you really felt it when he delivered that Falcon Punch and knocked Ozpin's ass into that tree. It was done. He was just over it. And that's why I believe Crow is just gonna be the hardest case for this, mostly because bro, there was meaning there. That's that real shit. So I don't really know how you're gonna really try to get through to Crow on Ozpin's return, because Crow could put Ozpin at a distance that even would make social distancing say damn. They would just look at this man and be bro, we said a certain degree, but bro, you sitting there your scythe is Power Pole extended from Dragon Ball, and you pushing him all the way back. Damn, we don't even know what to do with this right now. So earning back Crow's trust at this point is probably gonna be the hardest. Like, should anyone else choose like the other three options I've listed, say like they only listen to a bit of like what Ozpin has to say, like they kind of let him back, Crow is gonna be that nigga to where it's like, bro, I'm sorry, you gonna need to like redeem yourself like as long as like Sasuke did, my guy. Like, I'm sorry, like that's gonna have to be it for me. Like, that's gonna be what you're gonna have to do for me to look at you and be like, okay, maybe we can be bros again. But at that point, that's just gonna be how long it takes for Crow. That's gonna be like one of the hardest for me. Now, Ozpin's case, no, not Ozpin's case, Ironwood's case is, that's gonna be an interesting one, because I don't know how he's gonna take to it, because he is trying to like implement some of Ozpin's ideas into like trying to like raise Atlas up even further. But like the question would then become, all right, does will like Ozpin and Ironwood see eye to eye after he comes back? Like, once Ironwood knows, like, oh hey, Oz is back, okay, yeah, I learned some shit. Now, will he hold it against Ozpin like everyone else did? Or is he gonna be like, you know what, man? That was your shit. I get it. I understand. But right now, we gotta do this. I'm looking past all that. Maybe we figure something out. Because in terms of a plan, that's like a major thing right here. Because almost everyone is to a point where they're just like, okay, we want to do something about this, but, you know, we really don't know how. I mean, they had the perfect setup to win, but, you know, Volume 7 happened, and all of that got fucked. So, if anyone right now, since we know, like, Oscar/Ozpin is gonna be with, like, Yang and the others by that point, if anyone is going to have a game plan, like, to actually start coming up with any kind of plan of any kind, of any sort, is gonna be Ozpin at this point, because everyone else is just like, oh fuck, what do we do? And now we're just focusing on like the one thing, which is like evacuating everyone else and protecting Mantle. That's only like step one. Beyond that, I can almost guarantee you they will barely know jack shit of what to do. And at that point, Oscar/Ozpin is they're gonna have to step in and just be like, okay, here's what we need to do going forward, because Oscar had that determination, right? Like, he had that fire to essentially be like, bro, how do I save everyone? Like, how do I exactly do this? Like, because we need to get it done. We've taken way too many L's, and we need to start getting some W's on the board, my boy. Okay, so how do we do this? How do we make this shit happen? How do we unlock like somewhat of a good ending here? And on that, we still gotta have, you know, I'm hoping Ozpin like counteracts something of what RWBY is trying to do when she says like, okay, we gotta warn the other kingdoms, because honestly, while I want to hope that, you know, they would actually have some kind of defense against whatever the hell Salem could bring, which I really do doubt it at this point, is the fact of like, RWBY is essentially going to go and tell the other kingdoms this. She won't say exactly this, but here's what she basically will say, no matter how she puts it. Hey guys, this is I'm RWBY, in case you don't know, and you know Salem, right? That dark incarnate bitch. Yeah. So evil final boss is coming with Dark Gigantamax Waylord and a giant army of Grim. Yeah. Have fun with that. There's that. Like, let that simmer in for a second. Like, let that like melt into your bloodstream. Let that kind of sit into your brain tanks. Absorb all that knowledge. And guess what's happening? Guess what's happening? Because, you know, Panic is coming immediately right after that. Right after, immediately, directly after that. Because even in the safest place, like, during that point in like chapter 10 of Volume 7, while everyone's like fighting in Atlas, trying to take care of the Grim, fighting in Mantle, trying to take care of the Grim, everyone's like, oh, Salem, fuck, and she has all this bullshit? Yeah, it was still to some degree, even though Ironwood was like, bro, we will unite. He was on that Erwin shit from Attack on Titan, right? He was sitting there like with the salute pose and everything, essentially just being like, bro, we have to work together. We will be a united front. We will stand against Salem. We will be protected. But, at the same time, at the end of the day, given all the choices that were made after that speech, not everyone's just gonna be all like, yeah, we'll last, we'll stand this out, we've got this. Yeah, no, no one is just gonna 100% be like that, and everyone's still just gonna be looking like, oh, we got Dark Gigantamax Wailord, and there's still like a bitch ton of Grim? Oh, well, fuck. Alright, so what do we do at this point? That's why I believe we, at this point, definitely need Ozpin back right now, even though he really should have been here sooner. Because at this point now, Ozpin is essentially, the counter to to the ending of Volume 7. Ozpin is essentially just that very slight glimmer of hope right now. Because even at the end of the day, Ozpin's not going to be able to do exactly everything alone. However, at the end of the day, it still comes down to how everyone receives his return, to where he may just have to help through Oscar, essentially. To where, let's say, yeah, they all still say fuck him, but Oscar is like that only one that's kind of like, alright, yeah, I get it. He was on that bullshit, like back in Volume 6, where we all found out, we were all like hella salty, we had a whole container of fucking salt within our bloodstream because of that. Alright, we had that, but we gotta get shit done. So Oscar will be like the only one kind of like hearing out Ozpin like from the back, and at this point he'll just be like, okay, I'll be like acting out like all your shit while everyone else like isn't even hearing it. And I already know to a point it could be like, okay, how do you know this? How are you doing like all these certain things? And it's just gonna be apparent. They'll be like, okay, it's fucking Ozpin, isn't it? And at that point, we don't know what's gonna happen from there, and if everyone's even gonna agree. Because I know, like, should everyone just still say fuck him, Ozpin's ideals could still bring results. It's just because it's coming from Ozpin is why everyone's just going to be in that bit of like, yeah, it worked, but still kind of fuck you though. And we'll still be on a bit of pettiness, is kind of what I'm trying to say here, in the fact of it's helping, but they kind of hate him for it. Like, it's kind of that thing, to where you're kind of like that kid, right? To where, like, you get told, like, one way to do it, but you're, like, so stubborn, you want to stick to, like, your concrete way of how you do it, but then you're like, fuck, and then you do it that other person's way, and then, like, when you see that they're right, you're still just kind of like, no. That's what I feel like is possibly going to happen by the time, like, if everyone finds out Ozpin is back, and should they choose to still say fuck you, Oscar could just, like, act through, like, Ozpin's mind and just be like, okay, yeah, I'll do your shit for you. And then they're just gonna have to eventually just come to terms with it and be like, okay, alright, you're gonna still need to earn back our trust, but we'll work with you, like, for now, essentially. But that's just my opinion at the end of the day. How do you think everyone is gonna react to, like, the return of Ozpin? Like, will everyone just be welcoming him back with open arms? Like I said before, which is just not gonna happen. It's the very least likely. That's why I listed it first, just to get that out the way. Or do you think everyone's just gonna keep him at social distancing length and be like, we'll hear some things out, but we ain't just gonna blindly listen to your ass. Like, we're not about that completely. Like, we ain't bros like that anymore. Or do you guys think they're still just gonna say outright, fuck you, and Yang might possibly throw in a couple of hands that she didn't get to before back in Volume 6? And what do you guys think Crow's reaction is gonna be? Like, Ironwood's reaction as well. What do you guys think is gonna happen when just, like, everyone finds out Ironwood is back? And what do you think his plans could be going forward? Tell me your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed today's video, definitely leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. If you want more updates on the channel when the video ends, definitely head over to Twitter, follow me there at xmonarch1. And if you want to catch me gaming live in real time, definitely head over to Twitch and follow me there as well. I'll be leaving links to both my Twitter and Twitch in the description below. So until next time, guys, I'll be catching you later.